Devlin, Untamed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Platform.
Welcome to the podcast, people. Martin Devlin, Lachlan Waugh, talking sport iOS. It is only sport. That's the name of our daily radio show. Here's on the platform 1 till 4 every afternoon. If you can't get with it and stay with it, next best thing is this, the highlights package of. Today we went to Paris and started building up big time for the Olympic Games, officially opening this weekend. Spoke with 3 New Zealand athletes, all with real medal prospects, hopes, dreams, aspirations, and just how cool it is to be representing New Zealand. A silver fern on your chest at the biggest sporting noise there ever is. The Olympic Games are the original OG. You know, every pun intended when I say that. The OG of all international sport, the Olympic Games. Hamish Kerr, Tom Walsh, Ryan Fox, all on the podcast. As well as that, we played Glass Half Full, Tight 5, with regular correspondents Miles Davis and Brent Telfer on the show today. And we begin the same way every day, which is tablets in hand. I say, gather my flock. It is time for a sermon. Let's go to work. From the mountaintop.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
Man, work sucks. Ugh. Another day, another dollar, and another step closer to the grave. How many days do you ever feel like that going to work? And it's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. Even in the job that we do, where we spend our working lives talking sport, ranting and raving sport, doing a job most would rightfully consider a pastime rather than full-time. And, you know, you get one of those kind of days. The alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Got to be into work. Office at 7 a.m. because of the time zones. But guess what I had to do? I had to call 3 of our Olympic athletes, Hamish Kerr, Tom Walsh, Ryan Fox, for pre-game chats ahead of the Olympics. And I got to say, what a buzz. Just what a buzz. And we'll play you all of those interviews this afternoon. But for me, and like everyone, I need it too, it was just a great reminder of how utterly cool this job is. It's never been a job to me. I've never ever thought of any of the sports broadcasting I've ever done, TV or radio, is a job. Yes, I get paid, but I get paid to talk sport and talk with some of our greatest ever athletes days out from the Olympic Games. I mean, God, how awesome is that? The Olympics are one of the most amazing things I've ever attended. Concerts, sports events, World Cups, both here and overseas. The Olympic Games they're just something else again. From the moment that you get close to the stadium, the arena, you see that Olympic flame, the eternal flame. You walk past the village and all the bunting and the flags and the paraphernalia and the thousands of volunteers kitted out. The randomness of just being on the street when a fleet of blacked out V8 trucks pull up and LeBron freaking James steps out and he's right there like he's 10 feet away from you, surrounded by security, sure. But there he was. For the athletes, the competitors, all this is distraction. For me as a human being, it's a bucket list experience. And this morning, talking to Hamish and Tom and Ryan, well, it was just the best ever reminder of how lucky I am to do this for a living. So there's no great sermon today, people. Just enjoy the show. It's an excellent example of why we do this and why we love bringing it to you every single day.
Devlin.
What do you want? We want information. Information. You won't get it.
The Platform.
Sports news headlines are what?
Well, I was going to start off with that Canadian Football-Ferns story. That the New Zealand Olympic Committee has lodged a complaint after a drone flown over a Football-Ferns training session at the Paris Olympics. The build-up for the Paris Olympics was found to be operated by a staff member of the Canadian team. Maybe they need tips on losing, or, as we said earlier, tips on a good culture, happy faces, smiles. A New Zealand Warriors charter flight package with Air New Zealand's Grab a Seat has been launched today for the club's historic NRL season opener in Las Vegas next year. It's a one-off non-stop flight that takes off on February 25, returning on March 4, following the Warriors' first round match against the Canberra Raiders on March 1. Non-stop to Vegas. On-field matters concerning the Warriors. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck will wear the number 1 jersey for the Waz, with the club forced into another backline reshuffle for Friday's crunch clash at home to the West Tigers. A world-first study to research head knocks in junior rugby, particularly that first year of contact, is underway in Christchurch. You can read more about this on the One News website. Another story I found on the One News website, which is actually a very, very nice read, and I encourage you to read it. It's about brother and sister Tuiva'a and Samalulu Clifton, who will be representing Samoa at the Paris Olympics. There'll be a canoe team. The top European leagues, including the Premier League and Global Players Union FIFA Pro, will launch legal action against world governing body FIFA over its, quote, abuse of dominance in the game. Tennis star Andy Murray has confirmed he will retire from tennis after the 2024 Paris Olympics, something he's been flirting with for a little while, but it's confirmed now. And finally, Charlotte Dujardin, Britain's three-time Olympic champion, has been banned from competing at the 2024 Games. This over a video showing her whipping a horse repeatedly on the legs. That's what's making news, madam.
Devlin.
Oh my goodness me!
The platform.
Hamish Kerr, world indoor high jump champ, personal best of 2:33. The highest anyone has ever jumped at the Olympic Games was a guy called Charles Austin, 1996 in Atlanta. He did 2.39. Hamish did his PB just a couple of weeks ago, Diamond League victory in Monaco. He's had 3 Diamond League victories, Shenzhou, Monaco and London. And he spoke to us early this morning about going to Paris. Hamish, when do you actually arrive in Paris, mate?
Not till the 3rd. I'm like one of the last cabs off the ranks, so I'm kind of not quite feeling the Olympic spirit right now, but I will be soon. That's for sure.
Why are you arriving there then?
My final was the night before the closing ceremony, so it's not till the 10th of August. So I think we just made the decision that coming in a little bit later just means that we can sort of conserve a bit of energy and just sort of stay away from the hype for a little bit and just focus on the training.
Okay, so that means not, involved in getting into the Olympic Village and all of that kind of stuff, which is, a really special part of the Olympics. But having been there a couple of times, I can understand because, as you say, there are a lot of distractions.
Yes, yeah, I think, like most track and field athletes, we are all in the second week. So generally we're not coming in until that second week anyway. But yeah, it's definitely good fun once you get there. But it's sort of a environment that we probably just want to stay away from for a couple of days just before getting in.
So you miss the opening ceremony, you miss everything.
I know, but I get a closing ceremony, and that's probably going to be just as exciting as an opening, I would have thought. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that for sure.
What happens between now, then, and August the 3rd? How do the days unfold for you?
So we're north of London at the moment, just in a training facility that British Athletics run. So we're up there for a week, just sort of getting away from anyone really, just me and my coach and just a couple of athletes. So we're training up here, and then we'll head to the south of France next week, where we'll do another week of kind of like pre-camp, which is Athletics New Zealand put on a pre-camp, and we go there and just check in with the team and make sure everything's going nice, and then we'll shoot into the village and just get in from there. But yeah, in terms of training and kind of all the big rocks, I suppose they've kind of already been done. We've already sort of done all the training and all the hard work, and now it's just about sort of just coasting in that last couple of weeks and making sure the body's right and ready to go.
Okay, so this is the tapering thing. This is the build-up. This is perfecting it. This is making sure that you're absolutely in peak form. Now, do you feel that you could have done anything else preparation-wise to get to the point you are today?
No, I don't think I could have. I honestly think that. I think that in the future, there's definitely things about this build-up that we'll learn and we will apply to the next kind of phase. But I think in terms of, what we had really sat down and decided we wanted to do this year, I think that we're in a very, very kind of unique situation and thinking that we have actually kind of achieved everything we wanted to do. And that's not performance-wise, that's sort of process-wise. And I think that that's such an exciting place to be in. And, as athletes, you usually put plans in place and then you have to find out what plan B is and C and, make all these changes and just kind of adapt it as the season unfolds. But I think the crazy thing is that this year we've actually just achieved almost everything we wanted to do. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. We know that there's some pretty cool things that we can do off the end of it, and we'd sort of hypothesize what those could be. And I think that the next couple of weeks is just about realizing whether those things are possible or not.
He's a big favourite of ours. He's a great friend of the show, and he's so generous with his time. Hamish Kerr, looking forward to the Olympics and hopefully a medal hanging around that neck. I think I've just counted. You've used the word "we" about 10 times. I love hearing that. It's just and I can feel it that it's not just about you. You've got a whole lot of people around you, and it's so essential that they are.
There's certain unnamed members of my team who hate the fact that I say "we" all the time. They say that I need to take a bit more ownership for my own success, which I definitely do need to. And a lot of this is about the hard work that I put in. But yeah, I mean, look, I could not do what I do without the amazing team I've got, and I feel truly, truly special to have those people in my corner. And I think that the work and the progress that we've made over the last kind of 12 to 18 months has definitely been credit to them for sure.
Hamish, back-to-back Diamond League meet wins, a World Indoor title, a Commonwealth Games gold medal. Again, all the boxes ticked. There's another one staring at you. Do you dream about that? Do you do the visualisation of it?
Yes, most of the boxes ticked. Yes, I mean, look.
Sorry, most. Yeah.
Of course, I dream about it. I think that there is definitely this feeling of something special coming, and I'm not quite sure what that is, but I know that we've got an amazing opportunity in the next couple of weeks to really show the world what we've been working on and what we're capable of. And I think that I can't control what my competitors are getting up to, and I don't know what kind of build-ups they're having, but I know that there are some guys who are going to be really hard to beat. But I really truly believe that the package that we're going to be bringing is going to be pretty hard to beat as well. So yeah, I mean, I can't sort of sit here and talk about medals and all that when I don't know what my competitors are up to, but I know for sure that I've been winning quite a lot this year, and I certainly hope to continue that streak.
Do you look at your opponents? I've asked you this before, but this is a very special event. This is a one-off event, the Olympics. Do you look at your opponents this far out and go, I'm going to have to beat them? Or is it still all about you, what you do, and that bar?
Oh, look, it's always all about me. I think that, there's obviously human nature, which suggests that we would be comparing ourselves to the others. And I'm obviously aware of their results and aware of where they're at, but I think that the only thing that I can truly control is my own ability and my own sort of technique and progress that we're making. So that's definitely where a lot of the energy is going. But I'm only human, and sometimes I am sort of looking at what they're doing and kind of sort of getting a little bit of realization that it's not quite stacking up to where I'm at the moment. But I think also, I look back at the Tokyo Games, and I think the world lead going into that Games was about 2:33, and then there were about 5 guys who jumped 2:35 in that final. So it's definitely the kind of event where guys will definitely be sandbagging most of the season, and then when the big event comes out, they'll bring their A games. So I'm definitely aware that that's probably going to happen in Paris as well.
Do you have a height that you think if you jump that height that's going to be good enough?
Look, I personally believe that I'm going to be jumping high 30s. I think that I am capable of jumping 36 to 38 in the shape I'm in, and I think that there is a decent chance that if I can jump that, then I'll be coming away with a medal. But at the same time, there's about 6 guys who are sort of got PBs or sort of, relatively recent results, all sort of close to that mid-30 to high 30s. So I think that, if everyone really brings their A game, then it could even be higher than that. It could be close to 240.
We need to talk.
Lachlan, your favourite game?
We need to talk.
Your favourite game has always been what is more chance of happening, but a new favourite game of yours is called?
Half glass full?
Yeah, or glass half full. It can be either one of those, mate. 50-50. You're going to take
it's the same.
Glass half full.
Is it half glass full or half
glass half full.
But the other way actually still works, though. Half glass full, half glass empty.
If you want to be. I'm going to give you a name, and you're going to tell me the chance of this person winning a medal, glass half full or empty.
Next!
Hamish Kerr in the high jump.
Yeah, glass half full.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think his form leading up.
Superb full.
Yeah, and 2:33, and he just said then that he knows he's going to have, if he jumps high 2:30s, he reckons he wins it. So again, the Olympic record is 2:39. He's 2:33. Do it with your hands, ladies and gentlemen. That's about, your middle finger and maybe a little bit more than that, about maybe a little bit more than that, maybe, another joint on top of that. It's a hell of a lot when it comes to high jump. But yeah, I agree. I think he's glass half full, definitely.
Next!
Glass half full, glass half empty, Tom Walsh.
I hate to say it. I'm going to say glass half empty.
How come? Well,
There's
we're going to
two-
talk to him about this because we did record him this morning. We'll play that interview for you soon.
Yeah, there are two blokes, two Americans, and Ryan Krause and Joe Kovacs, who have consistently been just a little bit better than Tom Walsh. They've sort of had a three-way rivalry in men's shot put
Yeah, they
for
have, yeah.
like 7-8 years now. And they've always beaten Tom Walsh to the gold and silver medals at the last two Olympics. So that's part of it. There's also, I forget his name, I think he's Italian. I'll search it up now, but there's another really good young men's shot putter that's coming up and could dethrone Tom Walsh from a medals place.
Well,
So-
he's won back-to-back bronze medals, which is pretty special.
yeah, but this is me being a bit pessimistic about it. He certainly can. I'm just, there's this young up and comer, who
I like the guy,
I'm
and because
nervous
I like
about.
him, I'm going to put a glass.
Next.
Here we go.
Glass-
Leonardo Fabri's his name. Yeah, he's Italian.
Glass half full, glass half empty on the football Ferns' chances of meddling at the...
Stop it. There's no glass. I've smashed the glass. I watched one of their performances recently and smashed at that glass.
Yeah, Okay, glass half full, glass half empty on the football Ferns scoring a goal.
Oh, glass half full. One's got to sneak in.
You've got to, surely
Come
we can
on,
get 1 in 3 games. Come on.
Please.
Next.
Glass half full, glass half empty on the Ollie Whites, the men's Olympic football team from New Zealand, winning a medal at the Olympics.
Well, if you remember at the Tokyo Olympics, I think they achieved their equal best finish, which was getting to the quarterfinals.
That's right. Got out. Danny Haig took us out of the group stage. I
And
think we
we
drew
lost-
with Colombia. No, was it Colombia? I think was the final result to get us out of that group.
Not too sure, but I remember in the quarters, pretty sure it was quarters, that we went to a penalty shootout with the host Japan, who ended up winning it, didn't they? They won the men's football.
So glass half full, glass half empty on a medal prospect.
Glass half empty because I don't
Yeah.
think we're not as good as we were then. It's a different team than, say, the All Whites, but I don't think we're as good. I don't think we had as good a coach.
Who's our? Sorry, just memory slipped me. Who's our 100-meter sprinter?
Men's or women's? Oh, the women's. Sorry, Hobbs.
Glass half full, glass half empty on a medal.
Glass half empty.
Yeah, there's
she's the fact that she's there is an incredible
If
achievement.
Zoe Hobbs makes the final,
Oh my gosh,
that's an amazing achievement.
That could be Hellberg
Well,
worthy.
I think, and people won't understand this, but we'll talk to Brendan about this, but a New Zealander being in the final
Yeah.
of the 100 metres or the
Incredible.
200 metres, I would take that as a victory.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
Ryan Fox, fresh from the Open, Royal Troon, now representing New Zealand at the Olympics. Now, I have always and will always question whether sports like golf, tennis, football should be at the Olympics. Any sport at all where the pinnacle of that sport is not the gold medal. To me, that sport should not be at the Olympic Games. And I'm going to ask Ryan about that, and he'll be honest about that, absolutely. But the reason I say that is because, to me, growing up, the Olympic Games should be the pinnacle. If winning a gold medal is not, well then, and you can't tell me a single golfer, a tennis player, if you ask them honestly, would you rather win a major, would you rather win a Grand Slam, they would say yes every time to those first. Ryan Fox on the Open, how he's playing and preparing for Paris. This is the contrast I wanted. So you've just come off a major championship and now you've got the Olympics. And look, I'll be honest about it, mate. I never thought golf should be added to the Olympics because any sport where the pinnacle is not the gold medal, where the pinnacle is something else, I do question. And so you've just come off a major. And if you had a choice between winning that Open or the gold medal, what would you choose?
Oh, look, if I'm brutally honest, it would be the major. For what it would do for my career going forward. I certainly wouldn't turn down the gold medal. It's very cool and very unique, and I think it might grow to be something very special in golf. But I still think at the moment, the majors, especially the Open and the Masters potentially, I kind of feel like they might sit a little above the US Open and the PGA, or at least in my personal opinion. It is kind of a weird thing that golf's in the Olympics. I'm certainly not complaining. I wouldn't have thought growing up that I'd be going to my third Olympics next week, but and it's just amazing to be a part of the New Zealand team. But golf is still probably in a little bit of a strange place for where it sits in the Olympics and how the Olympics sits with the players. And I think the buzz around it is a lot more now than it was in 2016 when we got back in, I guess. But it's still certainly not the same buzz as a major, I personally think.
Yeah, and that's understandable. It's the same as tennis, man. If you ask any of the pros, they'll say they'd rather win a Grand Slam. And there's nothing like that, because that's the tradition and that is the history of your sport. And especially when you look at the Open where you've just been, where it was the 152nd time they've played that thing.
Yeah. I mean, the history around the Open's incredible. It's just such a cool event. It's played on golf courses. The majority of them are more than 100 years old. I think St Andrews, I don't know how long that is, but how old that is. But it's been playing. They've been playing golf there for hundreds of years, and to be able to have that kind of history in an event is hard. It's hard to beat, really. And the Olympics has got a long way to go before it gets to that point for golf, at least.
Ryan, looking back now, mate, and just talk us through that tournament, the course. First and foremost, were you happy in the end with finishing in the top 25?
Yeah, look, it was an interesting week. It's a very hard golf course. That back nine was definitely probably one of the toughest 9 holes of golf I've ever played, and it was just a tough week. The Scottish summer hasn't arrived. We had some pretty awful weather most of the week, even in the practice rounds. It was just a grind, and I didn't play overly well. Probably the first 3 days, I was pretty despondent about my golf game. Going in, it felt like I was pretty far away. The week before in Scotland, it wasn't great, and I kind of got away with it. And making the cut felt like an achievement, and then I kind of didn't feel like it was that far away. And then on Saturday, I played awful. Kind of played how I thought I was going to play, and then all of a sudden, going on to Sunday, it was the exact opposite. I didn't miss a golf shot, and had obviously one of the rounds of the day, especially early. The wind died a little bit later on. I think a few of the leaders obviously playing well, shot some good scores, but early on, not many people shot under par, and I was pretty chuffed with that, and tied 25th at the end of the week was a pretty good result. And I think the bigger thing was more making all 4 cuts in the majors. And I think I had a guy text me before saying there's only 5 guys that have made the cut in the last 8 majors, and that's Scheffler, Schauffele, Cantlay, Hideki Matsuyama, and myself. So that's
not a bad list.
That's pretty good company.
That's not a bad list. Not bad. Any time Fox can get into a list like that, it's pretty damn good, mate. How good was Schauffele 9 under overall over all 4 days?
Yeah, it was incredible, to be honest. I mean, I think the first 2 days he would potentially be a little disappointed. The first day he played quite nice. I think he scrapped it around the second day a little bit, shot 1 over, I think. But he shot 2 under in the awful conditions on Saturday afternoon. I don't know, anyone that watched it was absolutely brutal. And then obviously Sunday, that back nine on Sunday's got to go down as one of the best 9 holes of golf in major history. To shoot 31 on that back nine and take the lead and just take complete control of the tournament was some incredible golf. I watched a fair bit of it, and he just looked like he always looked like he was the danger man, and he just didn't miss a shot, and took full advantage of it. And if you're Justin Rose or Billy Horschel or Tristan Lawrence, you kind of don't feel like you did a whole lot wrong. Someone just went out and straight beat you, and fair play to Xander. He's one of the nicest guys out there, and he's taken his game to at least another level this year, if not a couple of levels up from where he was, and he was a pretty damn good player before that.
Well, Ryan, how difficult is it, to win 1 major, to win 2 majors in a year? I mean, this is what I struggle to get my head around, because, there's 100 golfers on every single weekend on that tour who are capable of winning a tournament. For one guy to do that in this day and age is just incredible to me.
Yeah, look, I think anyone that grew up in the Tiger era, it probably feels a bit more normal for that to happen than what it actually is. Since last time Tiger did, I think, was 2007 maybe. It's been a while. I think Jordan Spieth might have done it in 2015 potentially as well.
I think it was 18 or 19. It might have been Koepka, but this particular one was 2014. Winning those 2 majors in a year was Rory. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it happens for guys to get hot a little bit, but to keep it going is the impressive thing. Obviously, Scheffler's done it the last couple of years, winning multiple PGA Tour events, and it's just hard to do. Like, major golf is hard. You've got to be so on. Every part of your game is going to be Hall of Fame career is winning 2 majors and 8 PGA. Schauffele's done a decent chunk of that already this year, and he's a lock for the Hall of Fame going forward. And how he's played this year, you'd be hard pressed to bet against him not getting a few more. It doesn't look like there's any weakness there. His golf games there, he looked, I think, a whole lot more comfortable coming down the stretch at the Open than he did even at the PGA, and he did a pretty damn good job coming down the stretch at the PGA too. So yeah, he's going to be a big threat going forward, and someone who I think will win multiple more majors going forward.
The Tight Five.
5 separate sporting topics, roughly a minute or so on each. We might go over. We might not. When this happens, we shut up and we move on to the next topic, Lachlan. This is a little personal. Millennial Man was wrong yesterday, and Lachlan is going to admit live on air that he's a man and he was wrong. Not only that, he also spilt coffee all over the cup holder in the car, which basically means your car is now going to stink for the next 10 years until you completely and utterly rip all the carpet out and redo the upholstery. 3 Olympic athletes on the program. Who's got more chance of medaling out of Hamish Kerr, Tom Walsh and Ryan Fox? Explain to me and why, Lachlan. Sky are charging, apparently, I don't know, I've only got this on the text machine, $35 extra for you to watch the Olympic Games on Sky. That completely sucks, doesn't it? I suppose they've got to raise money, though, to send the execs off to South Africa to follow the All Blacks like they did sending them to San Diego, because they can't afford to send the commentary team. The Warriors release their Vegas package deals. Is the timing of this significant, Lachlan, given the fact that the results have not been what the Warriors want, and this is quite a good distraction away from the fact that the team has won 7 out of 18 and isn't going to make the 8? Or am I just being cynical? ESPN have done projections for next season's NBA, and their highest win total is the Celtics with 58.5. Is that accurate? Will anyone beat that, Lachlan? And a Canadian staff member has been caught flying a drone and supposedly spying on the Football-Ferns. Let's kick it off with that, because this is the only win that team is going to get at the Olympics. These headlines, outrage all over. I mean, this is a great story. Look, I've been at a couple of Olympic Games. This is a great story in the lead up to the Olympic Games because there are no other stories. Normally what they would roll out is they would roll out things like they take the Olympic athletes to one of the First World War sites and find a grave of a guy that used to compete at the Olympics or something like that. And this is what they did when I was at Athens, and they do a story around that. Or performing a haka at the Olympic Village, which happens about every hour, every day in the build-up to it. And so these are, look, there's no news until it actually starts. And so those journos over there are scratching. I saw on stuff, I think it was yesterday, these are the beds the athletes will be sleeping. My head in my hands, I'm going, oh my God. And I heard on News Talk ZB this morning that there are no chicken nuggets in the meal hall this year. So this is what I mean. So these are the kind of stories we get. It's just fluff and guff. But this story is a great story because it's so humorous. Canada are the Olympic women's football champions. And then somewhere down here, in the darkest corner of world rankings, that can't score a goal or beat anyone that is in a Pacific Island nation. What on earth are they doing? What are they thinking? And obviously, Lachlan, they should be forfeiting this match, should they not? We should have that 3 points. It's the only decent thing to do, isn't it? The honourable thing to do, Canada. Fall on your sword.
Oh, well, it's the only way we can get any points in this tournament. We've
Yeah,
got
it
a
is.
group of France, Colombia and Canada who are ranked. I've got the rankings here. Canada are 8th in the world. France are 2nd. And Colombia are 22nd. New Zealand are?
I would say 28th, 29th.
Oh, bang on, 28th. New Zealand
Okay.
are ranked 28th.
Anyone from about 15 down is it's
It's a bit of a free-for-all, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
15th is Italy, but
we might get a 0 draw with Colombia.
Oh, we might. Yeah. Well, I mean, geez, what if we did what we did last year? We actually beat, Canada, and then we'd lose like 4-0 to Colombia.
Yeah, so we beat Norway, which was the thing, and then we lost to
World
the
Cup,
Philippines.
Yeah, we lost to
Bloody
the
hell.
Philippines.
I mean,
But it's hilarious because on the outside walls of New Zealand, many would say, "Oh, geez, why they're trying to get some intel on the Football-Ferns." Us within our four walls, who are realistic about our sports teams, sit there and go, "You're not learning anything.
No.
This is not a good team.
No, it's not.
This is not a good team at all. They've just gone through a whole issue with their coach who's gone, and they've got a new one in place, and then they don't have an assistant either, and then the players that have been underperforming in that jumper for a long time now. No,
And
sorry.
so much deadwood in that side as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the White Ferns in that you've got a whole lot of athletes who actually who think they deserve to be paid. Oh, I've been playing and training for 10 years. Yeah, but there was, 100 years of All Black rugby where all of those players never got paid.
Yeah.
And that's the legacy of that jersey. Your timing was just a bit unfortunate. Just because you've played a lot of games for New Zealand doesn't mean that you still deserve your place in the side and deserve to get paid. It's actually I thought it was a professional sports team. Stupid me. Hashtag fun, hashtag great culture. The Warriors released these Vegas package deals. Significant in that... Look, there's a bit of general misery around the Warriors right now because we're not going to make the
Depends
eight.
who you talk to.
Well, okay, there's still hope, Lachlan.
I was talking to someone last night. I won't say who it is because if I do it, sort of, even if I say where I was with them, it gives it away. But they were saying, no, the Warriors are still a good team, though, aren't they? I said, no, they're not.
No, they're not. And look, and I'm about to go through the squad with you in about 20 minutes or so. Or sorry, the team that was named for the game on Friday night against the Tigers. And this is what I've been saying right since the start of the year, that this squad is not good enough to win a premiership. And all the bells and whistles when Fisher Harris was announced, because what you have with the squad, it's the same as your favourite Premier League side. When you get injuries is the real test. Oh, no, we've got all these injuries. Oh, we can't replace them. That means your squad's not good enough. That's what it says, okay?
Yeah.
So you can't bitch and moan about injuries because you have to have replacements that can slot in. Now, the Warriors players have done a bit of a number. Good job against the Panthers, the Dolphins, and so forth. But you've seen... this is the NRL. Over a period of 8 to 10 games is the real truth. Not 2 games, 10 games, and the Warriors haven't been good enough. So what I'm saying is this significantly timed because it's a really good story and it takes the attention away from what isn't a good story?
Yes and no. I think it's well timed in the sense that I don't think they had much control over when they would announce this because they would have had to have gotten these packages sorted and out to the public or out to market, if you will, quite soon. And so it probably would have come out this week, but they may have released it on, say, Thursday or Friday, on game day, something to really up the excitement if the Warriors are playing well. To release it on Wednesday and to announce it a day after the team is named, a team that's named that is
It's pretty underwhelming,
it's
to be honest.
reshuffled.
Yeah, it's pretty underwhelming, yeah.
It sort of helps gloss over
I think so, yeah.
what's going on.
And look, and don't think for a second that these things aren't thought about in the office.
Oh, they are.
Because they absolutely
they are.
I've been in these meetings, they are. What's the best time we should release it? Oh, God, not that. Yeah, there. Yeah. Right, this is how, okay. Quickly, who's got more chance of meddling? Hamish Kerr, Tom Walsh, or Ryan Fox?
Hamish Kerr.
I agree. Absolutely, entirely. I think he's got a damn good chance. ESPN have done their projections for next year's NBA. The Celtics, they've set 58.5 wins. Now, that's the highest. So no team getting over 60 wins. Now, the Celtics got over 60 wins.
Well, they always do this. They always do an over-under, and they're always very...
Conservative on it?
Yeah, conservative.
Okay.
They're never going to bet, unless it's like that Golden State team in 2017 when they got Kevin Durant. They're never going to have an over-under of a team getting 61.
Why not?
Just to play it safe. Because if they do...
Well, look at the Celtics, what, 64 wins or something, and what did they lose? 1 game or 2 games in the whole of the playoffs? Or something incredible?
3 or 4, I think. 3 or 4.
So
but here's the thing. So if for Boston it came out, there was an over-under for 63 wins, or 63 and a half wins. So
everyone
either they
would
get
slam
63,
the under. You'd slam the under.
Exactly. You'd slam it because you can't predict what will go on in terms of injuries. You can't predict that the team, they might not get on well with each other. You never know what's going to happen.
Or they might be winning the div so easy that at 50 games they just pull the handbrake up and go,
Exactly.
right, we're just going to float from here on in.
Particularly for a team that's just won the championship. They know they can win it, so they kind of know how to time their run.
Okay, so the game was okay. That makes sense to me, all right? Yeah, because I was just wondering. I just thought it was a little low. I thought 58.5 was a little low for a team that only lost about 10 games all season.
And because there's more of a likelihood of that happening. Not more of a likelihood, but you'd be safer betting on a team getting less than 64 wins
well, I've
than
learned
more.
A lesson off a millennial, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, think about it from the
now,
perspective of...
Now, you're about to learn a lesson off a boomer, okay?
I'm not finished.
Doesn't matter. I'm finished. That's the lesson. The other lesson is
knowledge to give
you were wrong yesterday.
Okay.
Now, we've received text messages in here saying we were having a discussion about the NRL and you said that Penrith and Melbourne, the last time they met in a final series was 2021 and it was actually last year, mate.
Can I defend myself? I said, I'm pretty sure, if memory serves correct, that was the last time.
Well, memory didn't serve correct and you weren't sure.
My apologies, I got it wrong.
You what?
I got it wrong.
Sorry?
But I'm not saying it again.
Say it again. You're a millennial. Say, I'm a millennial and I got it wrong.
Here's the thing, I'm not. I'm a Gen Z. I was born in 1997.
Listen to it, ladies and gentlemen. The young people, they just can't say it. Why can't you say I'm wrong? Why can't you say I'm wrong?
My point, I did say it twice. My point is... or the point I was making yesterday still stands. The point was Melbourne need to be careful of who's right behind them on the table. No one's been talking about Penrith this year the way they did the last couple of years.
And you did actually mention and got the score right in that game. That
10-6, I got the score, the venue. Okay. I got everything right about that. I just forgot that they played each other last year.
You explain then to the next girl that sits in your car who goes, oh, God, something smells in here. That you
quite clearly it'll be coffee.
That's coffee. Well, it's the milk. Once you spill milk on the upholstery or the carpet, it never leaves the car.
Now, it's not on upholstery or carpet. It is in the cup holder, so it's on plastic.
Yeah, but did it seep?
I don't think so, because I put paper towels in there.
You put paper towels in there.
And they soaked up a lot. They're actually... See, this is the mistake I made. I accidentally left the paper towels in there.
Oh, God, when you get back in, it's just going to
stink. It's just going to smell like coffee, which isn't terrible. It's not a terrible smell. There's worse smells out there.
Well, of course... But there's nothing like a new car smell with fresh upholstery, is there? You're going to have to go in for the full clean, mate. You're going to have to go to Reggie's Cafe and go for the full clean.
No,
go to that steam thing over there. Go to that steamer.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because I got a service and there's no her. There's no she. I don't need to worry about that right now.
That's all I wanted, ladies and gentlemen. I just needed that bit right there. It took that long to get to that bit right there. Say it out loud.
No, I'm not playing your games anymore.
Okay,
I'm done.
Stupid dumb game and stupid dumb game or not. Tom Walsh, 3rd Olympic Games in a row. He's bronzed. What is it going to take to bust that door down and produce his very best at the time he needs it most? Different kind of build-up for Tom, as you're about to hear as well. This is a man, of course, with the experience under his belt. So how to avoid the distractions, how to prepare himself. And also... just in terms of that, what does it take to get himself into that optimum state? He's a fantastic bloke, is Tom. He is a world-class athlete, and he survives and thrives on margins, just the tiniest margins. I mean, the difference between what colour tin is around your neck. Tom Walsh. When you build up for something like this, you don't, and this is what people have got to, we've all got to get our heads around. You don't build up for a month, you don't build up for 6 months, you don't build up for a year. This is 4 years worth of your life goes into this next couple of weeks.
Oh, it is. In some cases, it's even more than that, right? It's pretty daunting when you think of it that way. But I guess all we can do is, try and get there in the best shape and in the shape that you want to be in to compete well and challenge for whatever you want to challenge for. So, it is a bit daunting when you think of it that way, though, Marty.
I mean, what I mean by that is that, everything that you've done up until now this year, I mean, it's not that it doesn't count, but this thing counts for so much more. It counts for everything.
Look, it does, right? And to some degree, it doesn't matter how you've been going, if it's been good or bad or indifferent, right? It just means, everyone who gets there on the day has a chance to win, and that's where I'm feeling really good about things. I haven't had the year, especially the outdoor season, that I'd have wanted, but I also know that I've got a few, miles under the tyres. I know what the Olympics are. I've been there twice before. I've done pretty well twice before.
Oh, you have, yes.
And I know that I've just got to believe and trust the training that we've been doing, and know that I've got a bit more in the tank than what everyone else thinks.
Tom, and look, I can draw a parallel with other sports, and the daunting thing for the All Blacks going to South Africa, and anyone that says, it's just another, a field of grass, it's just another stadium, it's just another crowd. It's not. Once you're inside that Olympic stadium, when you see that flame, it changes everything. How advantageous for you that you have gone through this twice before?
Oh, I think it's pretty important, mate. I think there's been also 2 very different games, Rio and Tokyo, for many different reasons. But I definitely, sometimes I need reminding this. Sometimes I need reminding about my experience and, I guess, things I've learnt. And that's why I've got a good team behind me. But I think it's, I'd much rather go into a games with being at one before. You've seen the dining hall before, you've seen, the 10,000 athletes, you've seen the accommodation. It's not overstimulating. I think for first timers, it can be quite overstimulating mentally, just seeing all the athletes and seeing all the stuff that goes with it. So it's definitely a good thing on my end.
100%. And while you're saying that, I was just thinking about my first experience. And I mean, obviously, I'm a media tosser, but just walking around that, the village and just, Sydney and all of the venues and stuff like that. I was like a kid, mate. My eyes were agape the whole time. And then you'd see an athlete. Like I remember watching Torpedo. Yeah, I just watching him, and he was 17 walking past me, and I just stopped and I just stared at him for like minutes and things like that. And it just, as a human, it's natural for us to behave like that, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure that if you were at the first Olympics, there in Rio and Usain walked past, you probably would have stopped doing what you're doing as well.
Oh, absolutely. But let's be honest, Usain wasn't staying in the village. But
same as the US basketball team, mate. They arrive in their own limos. I've seen them.
Yeah. No, look, it is pretty cool, and some of the, we like to try and pick what sports some people do because, for example, in athletics, right, there's so many different body shapes that do athletics, and then to some degree in other sports it is like that too. So, look, it's quite an interesting, place to be. You've essentially got, all the athletic freaks in the world, not all of them, but not a lot of them, in one place and trying to do their thing. So it can be very eye-opening.
Tom Walsh is with us. He is a two-time Olympic medalist in both Rio and Tokyo. Do you think about or ever ask yourself the question, is everyone clean? And does that cloud your mind at all?
Hey, mate, I know we've talked about this a lot, but I think at the end of the day, I can only do what I do, right? I've been through parts of my career where I've been caught up on other people and what they're doing and how their training's going or how far they're throwing and so forth. But at the end of the day, I can only affect what I can do personally. So I've got to, when I throw my best, when I'm in the best shape, I am consumed by myself and what it is that makes that ball go far for me. Look, for sure, there is still drug use in our sport. There's no doubt about that. I think the AIU do a fantastic job of getting a grip of that and keeping people accountable and so forth like that. But there will always be those people who try and cheat the system. But I can't worry about those people because I can't stop them from taking drugs.
When you get ready to go and, it's your day, it's game day, and you're going in that circle and everything else, has your preparation changed demonstrably since the first time you went to the Olympics, or is it pretty much the same? And just walk us just through briefly how you do that, how you personally get into your zone.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Definitely there's I'm a little bit older now, Marty, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's definitely not as much training that goes on as what used to be.
Yeah.
I think one thing I understand more now, more than anything, is my mental space is the most important thing for me. And it can just be by little things about how you're talking to yourself, your own self-talk, and how you're framing things. Because you can put a slight different twist on things and it can bring your mood completely down, or change it to a much more positive kind of vibe. So, there's definitely a lot more awareness from me in terms of self-talk and the words that I'm using for things, because it's just so important with the energy you put out in the world. It is, just so important to get right.
Well, see, I mean, I feel like, we've spoken so often. I feel like I know you kind of a little bit. And the thing I love about you is not only your athletic prowess and all your achievements, but you just seem such a calm, easygoing, composed individual, and for all of us who are a little ADHD, we look at you, God, I'd love a little slice of that. but do you, how much of it is actually affected by your mood, your biorhythms, your emotions, all that kind of thing?
Oh, so much. I know, there's been a few comps this year where, I've probably got a little bit too intense and a little bit too focused, and that doesn't go well for me. I get a bit tight. I get a little bit short in my movements in the circle, and the ball doesn't go anywhere. So I know for me that I've got to, enjoy it out there. I've got to have fun. I've got to, talk a little bit of shit to the guys. I've got to, have a smile on my face. And I've also got to use positive reinforcement and positive reviewing with my throwing. And because when I'm like that, when I'm relaxed, I'm enjoying it, and it gives me the opportunity to make that ball go a long way and spoil the party for someone else.
To hear the full interview, download the platform at the App Store. Via Platform Plus, you can go back and listen to the whole show and all of the interviews in full. That's our podcast for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to the entire show, 1 till 4, Monday to Friday, Download the Platform app, and via Platform Plus, you can go back and listen to whatever shows over however many weeks at your leisure, at your listening pleasure. Platform Plus. First thing to do, though, is download the Platform app.
Devlin.
Unbelievable. Incredible.
The Platform.